Hey, this is Josh with TriloByte Studios.
And this is Carl.
And today we are going to sit down and discuss the review of Jurassic World Dominion. We've finally seen it, and now we're going to give kind of like our thoughts and a review of the movie.
Right. Thoughts and review. Definitely not ranting. That's not going to happen. Not at all.
Alright, so the movie pretty much opens up with Deadliest Catch, the Mosasaurus edition, which we did predict from the very first trailer.
Yeah, we did.
Then the movie goes to kind of like the whole BBC type thing with Fallen Kingdom, but it wasn't BBC, it was another...
Yeah, they did like a newsreel of the dinosaurs all around the world and like dinosaur-related deaths and...
I just want to say, for some of those scenes were already leaked, like the little shots of dinosaurs in the real world.
Yeah.
Some of them looked really crappy.
Yeah.
Like the Ankylosaurus and the...
oh, they looked awful. A lot of the CGI looked awful, but that's coming later.
Alright. Then we get Claire going almost like a PETA thing to a dinosaur breeding farm.
To like a ranch where they're raising...
Nasutoceratops like cattle.
And it's just really bad.
She drags Franklin and... what's the girl's name?
I forget her name. Zeta. Okay. Zeta, I think it's Zeta.
Into this, almost like a PETA thing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you know what, we're out.
Yeah, and then that scene just comes out of nowhere, too. They're just like, we're done. And they don't even, like, give any type of...
There's no background
whatsoever. There's no background or anything else. They could have just been like, Claire, we've been doing this for over 2 years, and we haven't gotten any results. But no, they're just like, we're done. Bye. It's like, what?
Well, Franklin's like, I got a real job, and then later on it shows him working for like the
CIA.
The CIA,
which I don't know if that actually counts as a real job.
Well, he's apparently working under the prehistoric agency for the CIA, which deals with all the animals anyway. So it's like, so you just didn't want to do it, you know, without getting paid. Is what you're saying.
He didn't want to do it renegade style.
Yeah, I guess.
So
which then it cuts to Owen wrangling a Parasaurolophus, and you said something during the movie.
Oh, it was so much bullshit. There's a specific scene where he gets pulled off of his horse by the Parasaurolophus, and he's being drugged down a mountain, and he sees a tree stump, and he like puts out his feet and catches himself and the Parasaurolophus and like stops them both, and then like levers around the tree stump with his bare hands and holding it, and I'm just like, that's so much bullshit. He would have snapped his legs.
Well, it's Chris Pratt. He has superhuman strength, apparently.
I guess so. Oh.
The power of Chris Pratt compels you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I liked the scene. It was a cool scene, but they could have done anything else instead of having him, like, catch it with his legs. Oh, it was bad. Because if that happened in real life, that's like...
I'm pretty sure the strain on your leg was snapped.
Exactly. Like, how heavy is a Parasaurolophus?
Running at full speed?
Well, just in general.
Probably a couple tons.
Right, so you've got a couple of tons, plus running at full speed, that's like 20 miles an hour. That's like...
probably around 15, but still.
That's like 50 force. That's like 50 tons of force on your leg. That your legs are going to be up through your teeth if you try a stunt like that. Anyway.
Alright, so next we see Maisie, who's apparently home... I guess considered home arrest, because Claire and Owen... tell her don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so the whole idea is that they're looking for Maisie because she's like a
she's the clone.
She's the clone, and they know that she's the clone that they made without anybody else's DNA. So they're trying to find Maisie, but Owen and Claire say
Biosyn wants to find Maisie, which we forgot to mention in the news article, is that Biosyn is kind of the one doing the wanted search.
Yeah. And
somehow made several countries agree to giving them the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Which I don't understand how that's possible.
So they basically keep Maisie in their like little country cabin and don't let her go into town, but she goes into town anyway, and she sees an Apatosaurus, and then she's like, hey, this is cool, let's show it the way out, and then they do the whole dinosaurs are magical scene, and then you don't see the dinosaurs for 90% of the movie.
I mean, yeah, I guess. It's a very heavy human-based story.
It's all human-based.
But once she gets back is when we meet Blue and her baby.
Yes.
Which they go... Apparently, Blue's like teaching it how to hunt, and it kills a wolf. Which I thought was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I thought that scene was pretty cool. Like they're like stalking a rabbit,
and then a wolf comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then a wolf attacks the rabbit, and then Blue Beta, that's what they call her, is Beta. She attacks the wolf.
Yeah,
and takes it down.
Now I did like the one thing is they used a heavy on animatronics with Beta.
They really did. They also did that for a lot of the flashback scenes. If you noticed, like some of the, like when they were doing the lab scene where they're showing Maisie all of her, like her mother's flashbacks, all the dinosaurs in those flashback scenes were animatronic.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah,
which I did appreciate.
Yeah, no, I did too, and a lot of Beta was animatronic. And then after that, the story just kind of goes.
Then we see
haywire.
Then we get to the part where you really showed disinterest.
Yeah.
It shows a farm in West Texas, and I'm gonna let you kick it off here because that's the scene that you really started to show your disinterest in the movie.
So there's a farm in West Texas, and we see it in the trailer. There's like the giant swarm of locusts that come flying out and like start attacking. Well, they're not really attacking; they're just swarming. But there are these two kids, and they're swarming around these kids, and they're like, and they're giant. They're just giant locusts, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with this movie? So then it starts, like, somebody asks the farmer, like, oh, what kind of seeds are you planting? Those locusts are eating everything except the Biosyn seeds. Ooh.
Well, the one thing is, that's how they introduce Ellie Sattler.
Yeah, that's how they introduce Ellie.
Now, she took her paleobotany skills.
And now she's basically
doing, like, what? Like an environmental
entomology
studies or something like
etymology.
That? Yeah, something like that. And she's like, I know a guy, and then that's how we get Alan Grant.
Yeah, that's how we drag in Alan Grant, and then that's also inherently how we get into Ian Malcolm, because Ian Malcolm is now working for Biosyn as their like in-house philosopher or something like that.
Yeah. But going back to Alan Grant, I thought I saw Billy from JP3.
Yeah, I thought I saw Billy too when he's like, Dr. Grant, you might want to see this, when he's down in the dig site.
I don't know if that was actually... By the way, who does a dig site in a sinkhole?
I was about to say, how the hell did they get so deep? Like, it was basically a cave that they were digging in.
And Dr. Grant's giving like a lecture to these kids, and they don't give a damn whatsoever. They're literally not sitting there playing on their phone.
Well, that was the public. Those were the public hearings, like he was saying, because...
Okay,
so in the next scene, he was like, because paleontology is in the ground, it's all around us. This is science, not what you see in the news or something like that. And so Ellie comes in and she's like, oh, you're letting anybody onto your dig sites now? And he's like, well, the funding dried up, so we have to make money somehow. So they were basically doing tours of the dig site.
My question is, who was funding his tours to begin with? Was that Masrani?
Probably.
I mean, because...
You mean the digs, not the tours?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The dig sites were, since Engine was originally his benefactor with John Hammond. When Masrani kicked in with Jurassic World, does that mean he kind of took over the payments?
Maybe that's why the payments dried up.
Either way, that's how we segue to actually going to see the Biosyn facility with Alan Grant. However, before that, we had the Poachers taking Beta and Maisie.
Right, but
how did Owen run all the way to that bridge and see that?
He's got superhuman speed. He just stopped a Parasaurolophus with his legs.
I mean, true.
I'm sure he could jump over a mountain like Superman, jump over a tall building in a single bound. But that's where the movie just starts to get really bad. Honestly.
Really, that was it? I thought the Locust scene
is where I was like, okay, this is like, what is going on? Maybe this has some like kind of tie-in. Maybe the dinosaurs are like disrupting natural like migration patterns and breeding patterns, but that wasn't it.
No, they were Cretaceous locusts.
Right, but anyway,
Ellie brings a live specimen to Dr. Grant, and he's like, this is a prehistoric locust that was specially engineered. And she's like, yeah, it doesn't eat Biosyn feed only.
Right, and so that's when the movie starts to get really bad, after they introduce the legacy characters, because it's the same premise. Like, not only do they just ignore the dinosaurs for the next 90% of the movie, because they focus solely on the freaking human story.
And the locusts.
But they also take the same concept... They also keep the same concept of having all the dinosaurs the whole fucking point, excuse my language, the whole point to Fallen Kingdom was to get dinosaurs onto the mainland. That is what Colin Trevorrow said. That is why he said that Maisie pushed the button, because he just wanted dinosaurs on the mainland to try to play with a story like that. And we completely ignore that, and we go back to another place where the dinosaurs are kept in containment in a valley surrounded by mountains where they can't get out of.
Yeah.
What was the point of Fallen Kingdom again?
A quick dollar?
I guess.
Okay, so...
Sorry, that was a side
Sorry for the
rant.
small rant there, but to get back on track,
Well, the rest of the movie doesn't matter, because it's all just people. Until the last 10%.
Well, hold on, because we did get to see more species once we left, apparently, Nevada.
Right.
Because that's where Owen and Claire live.
Now, where was the market, like the underground dinosaur market?
That was Malta, after he meets up with Barry.
Right.
Where you get to see more new species, and it kind of reminded me of, like, a Star Wars Bazaar.
Yeah, it did. Or almost like walking into the, oh my god. You know what? On Tatooine when Han is going to
the cantina.
The cantina. Thank you. Oh my god.
I mean, if they started playing the cantina music, yeah, it pretty much would have been like game over right there.
Yeah, and so that's where we actually get introduced to. I really liked her character. I thought she was cool. The pilot.
I guess you would call her a smuggler.
Yeah, she was a smuggler. She was basically...
Oh my god, she's Han Solo.
She's Han Solo. Oh my god, they met Han Solo at the bar. So they go into this underground trade, and they're like, don't talk to anyone. And Barry literally tells both of them, like, don't make eye contact, don't talk to anyone. So
they leave Claire by
herself. So what is the first thing that Claire does? Which she's like going to the bathroom, and the pilot is in the bathroom with Claire, and Claire's just like, hey,
can you help me?
And the pilot's like, hi? It's like, I'm in the bathroom. It's like, yeah, I know, but listen, I'm missing somebody. And she's like, why are you telling me this? It's the most awkward introduction scene I've ever seen in a movie, and it felt so forced.
I mean, I kind of get it, because Claire is in panic mode looking for Maisie, kind of like like any mom would looking for their child.
Right, but then she pulls out a picture, and she's just like, it's this girl.
Did you notice it was the original photo, not actually of Maisie, but as her surrogate clone donor?
Oh, no, I did not notice that.
It wasn't even the clone of Maisie.
That's funny.
It was what's her name, Charlotte or whatever.
Charlotte, yeah. And we you know what's funny too is they also completely graze over the whole fact that like Maisie is having a huge identity crisis because she just doesn't believe she's a real person.
Well, which is kind of honest, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious, but they just completely glaze over that. They bring it up at the start of the movie, and then they never resolve it.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, when she sees Owen and Claire in the Biosyn Valley, she kind of accepts them as her parents.
Yeah, she accepts them as her parents, but she doesn't really. I mean, that's still like
after the Dr. Wu kind of said, "No, your donor basically gave birth to you."
No, we didn't get the conflict resolved.
Instead of you're not my mom. Here's a test tube. Go have a conversation.
Yeah. So, anyway, we have the scene in Malta with the new dinosaurs. Then it's basically all at the Biosyn facility. Which is supposed to be a sanctuary filled with dinosaurs, and guess what you don't see? Dinosaurs! It's crazy.
But before we get to the Biosyn Valley rant, because I know that's coming.
It's coming. Oh boy.
Let's go back to Malta, because we see several new animals. Like I said, we see the Atrociraptors, which, by the way, Owen's riding on a bike.
Yeah.
How fast were these things going?
Faster than a speeding bullet.
Also, they were getting hit by cars as they were running through there, and yet not one of them broke a leg or bone.
Yeah, Blue got hit by a car too, and she's just like, okay.
Shrugged it off.
Yeah, she's like, that's fine.
I'm like, that would have broke a bone or at least damaged a car like a deer.
Yeah, it was something. And then we have the Atrociraptors. What was the little thing in the pit? That
was a Lystrosaurus.
Okay.
Which is a herbivore from the early Triassic period, but it was gnawing on that dude's arm like a freaking bulldog.
No, not that one. It almost looked like
the baby Carnotaurus?
No, there was another
baby Allosaurus.
No.
Baryonyx.
No.
That's the only things I can think of.
It looked like what's the name of the thing from Ice Age again?
The thing from
Rudy. It looked like Rudy but brown.
Yeah, it was a Baryonyx.
The little one? The little baby one. The little thing that was in the pit.
Which pit? There's several pits.
I don't know. It just didn't look like anything.
When you get to Malta, you get like a dog fight dino style.
Yeah, but there were...
And then when they get to Biosyn lab, there's a little furry thing running in like a little hamster cage. Is that what you're talking about?
No, never mind. We'll just skip it for now.
Okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it's fine.
But fine. Yeah, we see... I'm kind of glad they kept out the baryonyx a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
Because that was a bad design to begin with.
Yeah, it was really bad.
However, they freaking used the Carnotaurus in every shape, form, and fashion.
Which, yeah, and honestly, I don't mind the Carnotaurus model. It's a bit bulky, but it's not bad.
The baby, when it bites the guy that Owen's fighting with, it chomps all the way to, like, halfway down his arm.
Yeah, and then in the next scene, you can clearly see, like, 90% of his arm.
Yeah, it's like, so how's that thing not choking?
Yeah, it's a bit silly. So that's the scene in Malta.
So then we get to Alan and Ellie getting invited to Biosyn.
Right.
After apparently Biosyn having already brought in Beta and having Maisie on another plane being brought in.
Yeah.
Which I like how no one questions, like, why is there a human child now just at the facility?
I mean, there's a lot of shady stuff going on there anyway, so I'm sure that the regular employees just kind of keep their nose out of that. Human trafficking is not like an uncommon thing, unfortunately, and even in our real world.
Yeah, I got that. It was kind of a weird situation, but so once we get to have Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler flying into Biosyn, we see three new dinosaurs. The Dreadnoughtus in like the lake, why is it always these huge sauropods in a lake?
Well, because that was the classic, right? That's like the classic sauropod, because paleontologists used to believe that they weren't, they were so heavy that they couldn't support their own weight outside of land, which is another thing we see.
We see that several times with multiple animals.
Where a sauropod is rearing up on two legs, and it's just like, that could never happen, but okay.
Well, that's at the end of the movie, but we see the Dreadnoughtus.
Yeah.
Then we get a glimpse of the Giga sleeping with a Moros Intrepidus, like, trying to pick meat out of his teeth, like a little bird.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that makes sense. I could see that something like that. If its teeth were actually outside of its fucking mouth, like in the model. But
then we get the man, the myth, the legend, Jeff Goldblum.
Well, first we also see the Quetzalcoatlus.
No, that was later.
Oh, okay.
But that was with Claire and Owen when they were coming in, and they were denying them access.
Yeah, that's right.
But we see Jeff Goldblum giving a lecture. What was your thoughts on that?
On the lecture?
Yeah, on the weird lecture.
Contrived, short, and uninteresting.
Okay, what did you think of their character of Dotson? Because you mentioned something, because when he took a photo with Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler when they first arrived, it was kind of like...
I thought that he was, like, had genetically engineered himself. Because he was like, do you have one of my food bars on you? And I was like, oh, maybe he can, like, smell really well or something like that. Maybe he's, like, a genetically engineered super freak, but he wasn't.
I honestly thought they were going to go Boss Baby 2. Because do you remember when Jeff Goldblum did the voice of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what I thought they were going with.
Oh, good lord.
I mean, we got a Star Wars moment in a Jurassic Park movie, so it's not the weirdest thing.
No, it's not, is it?
But, so, apparently, Jeff Goldblum is now, being like an undercover spy.
Yeah, he's an undercover spy in Biosyn.
Which, he's really bad at it.
Yeah, he's pretty bad at it. Well, I mean, he is supposed to be Ian Malcolm, and Ian Malcolm is a pretentious, narcissistic idiot. Well, genius, but pretentious and narcissistic.
But yeah, I'm trying to remember what's... They find the
Locust. So basically after that,
they find
Malcolm passes off his spy watch thing to them. They go downstairs, they find the Locust. Oh, big shocker, Biosyn wants to control the world's food supply because Evil Corporation is more interesting than dinosaurs in the world. But Evil Corporation is way more interesting. So we focus on that, and we focus on the Locust. Meanwhile, Claire and Owen are coming to the island. Valley, sorry. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, they're denied access.
They're denied airspace.
The Quetzalcoatlus attacks
so they turn off like their air defense system or something, the thing that keeps all the pterosaurs at a certain like level, so they turn it off.
Never really makes any sense.
Why would you turn it off and like risk an asset like a Quetzalcoatlus when you can just shoot them down with a gun?
No, here's my question. So they have an air defense system that doesn't allow them at a certain flight.
Right.
So when the plane's coming in, how does that, once it passes that certain level, wouldn't that still be a target opportunity for
Yes, it would be. So it doesn't make any sense anyway.
How does that prevent them from attacking the planes?
I don't know. So we get that scene. It goes down. Claire gets ejected out of the plane, floats down to safety after a little bit of a scare.
She sees
the plane is going down with the pilot. I can't remember her name, but her character's really cool. And Owen are going down at the same time, and Owen's like, "What's the plan?" And she's like, "Whatever happens is the plan." And he's like, "Okay." And then they crash into a frozen lake. We cut to Claire for a little bit, getting out of the.
She's wakes up in a tree.
Yeah, with a Therizinosaurus.
Which here's where the bet was. You said the Therizinosaurus was gonna be a
fake out.
A fake out. But it kills a deer.
It kills a deer
randomly.
Just randomly, because I guess it's in a bad mood. It woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Also, did you notice the eyes were like a weird milky color?
Yeah.
So did it have like cataracts?
It might have.
Which could be why it was in a bad mood.
Maybe that's why. That's why it's killed. They killed the deer. So
maybe.
I mean, I don't know. We'll just.
I don't know who won this bet then.
We'll just call it even.
All right, so nobody wins.
Yeah, nobody
knows what happened.
Because it wasn't really it was ornery, but it wasn't really aggressive. It was just kind of checking out what Claire was doing, and then kind of just told her to go away, and then it went away.
Yelled at the water as she's hiding underneath it.
Yeah, and then he walked, and then it walked away. And I think it's a shame too, because they used the Therizinosaurus as a monster, and they could have just shown it as like what it would have been in life, which is basically a big dinosaur sloth.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we as modern humans never seen those prehistoric sloths, so we don't really know how they would have acted.
Right.
But probably very chilled.
Yeah, more laid back, and only would have really like gotten aggressive.
Probably like a bear, to be honest.
Yeah, like only would have gotten aggressive if you got in its face.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So then we get to see the Pyroraptor. And the scene where it jumps into the frozen lake to swim under the ice to attack the pilot and Owen. And then it's just...
Me and you both cringed hard.
It was so bad.
I mean, even in the trailers, we cringed. And then we saw the full scene, and I think honestly, I looked like you were about to walk out right then.
Honestly, at that point, because I had work the next morning anyway, I was just thinking like, holy shit, I can watch this another time. I'm going home. And then I stayed because, anyway.
You're like, how bad is this shit?
Yeah, I just wanted to watch the train wreck at that point. At that point, I had given up all hope of it being a decent movie, and I just wanted to watch the train wreck.
Which, by the way, it shows them on a frozen dam.
Yeah.
High in the mountains, and yet they're walking around in a t-shirt and stuff. Yeah, and it's like nobody's freezing their butts off.
Yeah, no, and also they would have gotten hypothermia when they came out of that water. But to be fair, they did go inside the facility really quickly after that.
I don't care. You're still going to get cold as hell.
Right, but they get inside the facility, and now that's when it turns into like weird...
Find Claire,
find Maisie, espionage, find everybody.
Now, there was
a scene with Claire and the Dilos, which was pretty cool.
No, before that, it was when Chris Pratt and the pilot come across what they think is the body of Claire, and comes to find out it's the deer that the Therizinosaurus killed. And then Rexy walks in and tries to eat their carcass.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that scene.
And the Giga shows up, and you think, oh, crap, here's the fight. And it's just a quick yell match, and the Rexy backs down.
Yeah, Rex backs down.
Which is actually kind of how animals would have been.
That's how animals still work.
Yeah, so it's like, that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
It wasn't like, you thought it was going to be the big fight right here, but it was like, nah, it's just Rexy... backing down from a bigger carnivore because they're not in a small box.
Yeah, it was just a squabble over food.
We'll get to that point
later.
We'll
get to the small box.
We'll get to the small box later. But, yeah, at that point, it's basically Claire running around in the woods.
It turns into a
trying to find, I guess,
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is now trying to find everybody at this point in time, except for Malcolm, Grant, and Ellie.
No, Ellie, Grant, and Maisie are trying to get out.
Right, they're trying to get out, and that's when
Ian's trying to pick up them from some location, right, because he's now fired.
But the other team is still trying to find Maisie,
yeah,
and inadvertently finds the other team. But
so Claire finds.
Well, we missed a part of the with the cave.
I was going to get back to that one.
Okay.
I wanted to get
or the mines. It was.
I wanted to mention your joke about the Dilos.
Oh.
So Claire's trying to get into the watchtower. And apparently Biosyn has captured at least 3 Dilos,
yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And one of them gets point blank in her face, and you think, oh no, here's where Claire's dying.
Yeah.
And then you just see Chris Pratt reach into the frame and choke the animal out.
He literally picks it up by the throat and chokes it. And then the pilot tases it.
And then you make a joke. I literally was almost about to slap you. Because...
So I was like, oh my god, Chris Pratt just choked out a dinosaur. Well, I guess he's had a lot of practice choking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made that joke.
It was a good joke.
Well, okay, so Alan, Maisie, and Dr. Sattler are now in the mines.
They're in the mines of Moria.
Well, in the amber mines.
I know, I'm just...
By the way, if you're doing amber mines in Italy, why didn't we see one Italy dinosaur? In the entire...
You mean like Italian dinosaur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That made no sense.
They didn't have enough pasta to feed it.
Ravioli, give me formula.
Give me Italioli.
Well,
so they're in the mines, and then we see a sail come out of the water as they're like looking around the mines, and it turns out to be the Dimetrodon, and oh boy howdy. Is that model outdated?
Dude, I honestly flipped off the screen.
Yeah, I saw.
When you see the sail in the water.
Yeah, I saw.
I'm like, no.
They
did that.
It was awful. It was terrible. Not only did they put it in the water, but the model looked like the crocodilian.
My question is, why the hell are they even there?
Yeah, why are the Dimetrodon down there?
And the door was locked.
Are they implying that they were like cave dwellers? That they lived in caves in the dark?
I don't know. Oh. When they finally stumble across him, Maisie picks up a human skull.
Yes, I saw that.
So maybe Dotson does like the Jabba the Hutt, throws in employees that he's pissed off at, and they eat them.
This is literally just Star Wars Episode 6 and Episode 4 all combined into one. That was
with dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was the Rancor pit. We've already had the cantina scene. We've had a good flying scene. Like, this is just Star Wars.
I mean, they were kind of running around on Endor. If you look at the environment,
they were
that Biosyn created.
Dude, the Biosyn lab is just the Death Star.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're running around the Death Star trying to destroy the Death Star.
Pretty much.
So, after the really bad scene with the
Giga shows up once both teams are now invited.
Yes.
And how did you feel about the attack? Or whatever that was. Well, before that, I guess Dotson tries to hide evidence.
Yeah.
By burning unburnable locusts.
He lights the locusts on fire in his building.
And they get out.
And they break out because now the containment unit is compromised. But if you built the containment unit
properly
to light itself on fire, why did it fail?
I don't know.
It let out it looked like I don't even know what
it looks like ambers, but it's burning bugs.
Yeah, it looks like ambers, but it's burning flying locusts that fly all over the place, and then they're dropping out of the sky like meteors.
Well, like locusts.
Like locusts.
But yeah, it sets the forest on fire, and then the Giga shows up, and for the most part, the fight was fine. The encounter was fine.
Well, you forgot about the part where the Giga eats a burning locust.
It bites one as it's flying down, but that's not the part that
I know the one that you're
really cringe.
Yeah.
Is as they almost kill Maisie. As it's crushing the, I guess, safety feature.
We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close.
Dr. Malcolm stabs one of the burning locusts.
Well, first
he uses it as like a torch.
First, they're all like climbing up, and Malcolm dives back into the Jeep as they're getting away.
Yeah.
And now the Giga is focused on the group, and they're like on the top of this like tower thing, and it's like got its face literally right up against the heroes. And then all of a sudden,
can you really call them heroes?
Up against the people.
I'm like, they didn't really do much.
They didn't really, but you didn't do anything.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
They have their face up against the protagonists, the Super Friends, and all of a sudden Jeff Goldblum saves the day by, he goes like, okay, this will work, and he takes like a stick and he stabs a burning locust and he uses it like a torch to draw the attention to the Giganotosaurus.
Now, as the Giga's going in for the attack, he throws the flaming stick into its mouth
like a spear.
And now the Giga's breathing fire like a dragon.
Yeah, now the
and
Giga,
it looks like a dragon.
It looks just like he literally throws it like a spear straight into the mouth. It gets caught in the back of its throat. And at first I'm like, okay, that's fine. It's just gonna like, bite it and crunch it and
it's done. But
no, it breathes fire for like 4 or 5 seconds on screen.
It's a freaking dragon.
And they turned it into a dragon.
Now that it makes sense at the look of it, because it looks, once it breathes fire, it looks totally like a dragon.
Yeah, but it's just
without wings.
It's just so bad. And then they all get away. They get back inside. And they're looking for a helicopter. They find the helicopter.
Well, before that, the Giga retaliates, and then it has like a rope on its tooth and is pulling Claire, and Owen's literally standing beside it with a little knife, just stabbing into the nose.
Stabbing it in the head, and then everybody's like punching it in the nose, and
I'm like, this is really stupid.
Like somebody like shocks its eyes.
That was Claire.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's really bad. And then so they all get back inside, and now it's basically scramble for a helicopter,
and
scramble scramble for power, and scramble to get the air defense system back online.
Now that I think about it, it's basically the end of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Get the computers on, get the power on, and call for a helicopter.
And get to the chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which they managed to do.
But before that happens, we forgot to mention that they decide to bring all of the dinosaurs, because they have like
herding chip.
Yeah, a herding chip like in their brain, and it sends like electrical impulses to the brain. So they decide to bring all the dinosaurs into the middle of the facility.
Yeah, it's gonna
so now we're in the last 10% of the movie, and we get to see all the dinosaurs, but it's dark, and they focus on the human characters.
Actually, we don't get to see it. We see like 5 species, and there's supposed to be like, what, over 50 at this facility?
I think it said 22. I think that was the number. 22
We've only seen like 5 different animals the entire time.
Yeah.
But here's Owen gets Beta.
Yeah.
He darts Beta and is carrying her around in a backpack.
Yeah, it was scramble for Beta, for power, for the helicopter, and to get the ADS system.
So before they go running for the helicopter, guess who shows up?
Yeah.
Dr. Wu asking for a redemption.
He literally looks like a kid who had like a nightmare and is like coming to their parents' room to like sleep with them, because he's like got stuff and he's like holding it in his arms, and he just looks so sad. And he's just like, Mom, Dad.
The funny part is,
can I sleep with you? And they say yes.
No, the funny part is, Jeff Goldblum looks at him and goes, why are you here?
Yeah, he basically says, oh hell no, not you.
It's like, you're the reason why this is all happening.
Yeah, thank God for Jeff Goldblum. Because everybody else is like, else is like, oh yeah, he deserves a second chance. No. And then Jeff gets just like, no, no, you stay. You created this. You get to deal with it.
You're going down with the damn ship.
Exactly.
But
then let me explain why they say yes to Dr. Wu is because
Maisie.
Not because Maisie.
Yeah, because she was the one that said, sure, he can come.
Well, no, it was because, it doesn't matter what she says. She's still a child. But the adults are like, he says that he can stop the locusts, which are going to cause worldwide famine. So he says that if he has the chance to study Maisie, then he can create a locust. Or Beta. Then he can create a locust to fly out and to...
somehow kill them.
Yeah, and to somehow kill all the rest of the locusts.
Which I don't understand how.
I don't know either. Lysine contingency.
I guess. But Dotson dies.
Well, yeah.
Literally.
Who saw that coming?
Literally the same way Nedry died. But it's like, hey, you know how we use 1 dino? Now we're using 3.
3 dinos.
Which was stupid.
It was pretty stupid. I just want other people to die in Jurassic Park and World movies because, like, you know, in the first one, sure, he was a lawyer, but he wasn't a bad guy, and he just got eaten for no reason. Eaten because, you know, people get eaten now. But now, in these movies, it feels like...
If you're a bad guy, you get eaten.
Oh, yeah.
If you're on the good side, you pretty much walk out scot-free.
You could walk through the valley with a blindfold, and you'd be fine.
Pretty much.
But, so he gets eaten, and honestly, even in the theater, I was just like, oh no! Who saw that coming? The bad guy's gonna get eaten?
Honestly, what? I thought someone was gonna slap you in the back of the head when that happened.
It was ridiculous.
So now we're in the box. We finally, they're like, okay, I got a helicopter, and they land in the center with all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, why not land on the fucking roof? I don't know.
I don't know, but we're landing in the box.
They land in the box,
and we see the T-Rex and Giga square off again.
Yeah.
Because someone thought, hey, not only can we control the animals by hurting them, at no point did they have a behavior chip.
Yeah.
So they're just gonna put them all in the box and expect them to behave.
Yes.
Or something. I don't know. But yeah, they're in the box. The T-Rex squares up against the Giga and they fight.
And Rexy absolutely gets her ass handed to her.
Which,
hands down, it's a brutal butt whooping.
To be honest, I kind of hoped they were just gonna kill the Rex.
I know, that's what you were predicting.
Well, not only I was predicting, but the scene played out, and it's like, oh, the Giga wins, great. And then it's like, oh, but the Therizinosaurus is now here, which, by the way, where was he during the fight?
Yeah.
He just, showed up out of nowhere.
He was just like, oh, geez, that looks intense, and then walked away.
The Giga then squares up with the Therizinosaurus, and that was an interesting, actually, duel.
That was an interesting dynamic, yeah.
And then Rexy wakes up.
Yep. And then Rexy and the Therizinosaurus team up.
It literally does Jurassic World 1 all again.
Yeah.
T-Rex versus another big carnivore using an Asian dinosaur as backup.
Yeah. They team up, and the Rex
No, he literally grabs it by the neck, swings it around, and the Therizinosaurus just goes Wolverine and goes slank.
I mean, he was probably. I mean, to be fair, the Therizinosaurus is just standing there like, what can I do? And then all of a sudden, just oh no, it's on my hands. So then the Giga is dead.
The helicopter fly off after the body of the Giga slimps to the ground.
Yeah, the Giga is dead, and then the Therizinosaurus and Rexy just kind of nod and walk away like anime protagonists.
Pretty much. And then you had a very good question of who was the people at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
That were checking on everybody?
Yeah, they brought in people to get them off the island. And,
out of the valley.
Yeah, to get them out of the valley, and who were those people? Were they just Coast Guard? Were they just
I don't know.
Government organization?
There was no badge on any of them, but they're getting a news report of Biosyn was behind us the whole time, and it's no shit.
Yeah, and then they all fly away, and everybody kind of goes their separate ways, and
then we see Maisie's creator do the dinosaurs don't need our help.
We also see Dr. Wu
release the Locust.
Release the miracle Locust, which was the focal point of the movie.
Apparently.
Locusts.
The one thing I really did not like about the ending is not only was it literally a rehash of John Hammond's speech.
It was worse.
It was worse. 2, where would the other 2 T-Rexes come from?
Oh yeah.
Where Rexy just there's more T-Rexes. So why did we have to have Rexy here?
Do you think that it was implying that maybe those were her
siblings from back in 1990?
Well, not siblings, but maybe those were her offspring, because they kind of looked like juveniles. They were a bit smaller than her. Or maybe that was just the perspective.
In lore, Rexy was the largest out of all the 7 T-Rexes that InGen bred.
Right.
Now, back when Dr. Grant was coming into Biosyn Valley, they mentioned Sorna dinosaurs were the first generation dinosaurs at the park.
Yeah.
Or at the facility. What if that was the Buck and Doe Rex from the second movie?
Oh, it could have been.
I mean, I don't know. But...
I mean, because they just kind of forgot about Isla Sorna in the Lost World anyway, so...
Yeah.
It's entirely possible.
I mean, they yeah, there's now 3 Rexes in this facility.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much agrees that even though Biosyn, kind of screwed the pooch, let's just leave the dinosaurs in the valley.
Yeah, let's just leave the well, they're already in the rest of the world, which they don't ever focus on.
There's a few more shots of like dinosaurs in the real world, where it's like Sinoceratops in Africa, Quetzalcoatlus flying off of looks like a farmyard.
Yeah, with like ducks.
And then the worst one of all,
the worst offender,
Mosasaurus swimming with humpbacks,
and it is huge.
The size of a jumbo jet.
It's bigger than a jumbo jet. It's literally like...
It's gotta be aircraft carrier size by now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like at least destroyer size. It is just... It's ridiculous.
So... That was kind of a brief summary of the movie.
I don't even know if that was brief. We're at 40 minutes.
I mean, that was in as best as I can remember what happens in the movie. But what's your overall final rant?
Garbage tier movie. 2 out of 10. Would not recommend. I should have just went to sleep. I had to get up early this morning. I don't know why you all... Well, I wanted to see it, but I honestly just did it for you so we could see it. And it was just garbage. It was garbage tier. The story was contrived. It was boring. It was the same exact story that we've had over and over in every fucking movie nowadays. It's all just about the evil corporations that come in, and it's always the one bad guy who always gets eaten in the end. They don't focus on the important parts. They don't focus on the cool characters. We had a lot of neat new characters that just kind of got introduced and then just like thrown away, but they never focus on those characters because the Locusts are more important than dinosaurs on the mainland, which Colin Trevorrow said was the point of the ending of Fallen Kingdom. And then they don't do anything with it. They don't do anything with it. It just drops the ball in every single aspect. It drops the ball in its writing. The acting is good. It drops the ball in its effects. It drops the ball in its story. It just drops the ball everywhere. That's my final rant. 2 out of 10. Would not recommend.
I honestly, I have to agree. This was actually worse than JP3.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad because we built up we were supposed to get this movie last year. We got pushed back. Mm-hmm. We've been kind of waiting for dinosaurs on the mainland since 1997, basically.
Yeah.
And it just kind of fell flat. It's like dinosaurs became the side characters in their own movie.
Yeah, they really did.
Even the animals that we did see, they were focusing on all the new ones, but yet you kind of see like a silhouette of a triceratops or a silhouette of another animal here or there.
Yep.
Without actually ever seeing them.
And the trailer...
And the ones we did see from other films were really badly CG'd.
Yeah.
Like the Ankylosaurus.
Oh yeah, they're awful.
We don't even see the Natsutoceratops in daylight. We see a calf, which is an animatronic, but we don't even see the adults.
Yeah.
We see a shield or the silhouette of a Sinoceratops in both the opening and closing.
Yeah.
We see Compies, but Compies we've seen 1,000 times. Brachiosaurus is literally just a silhouette in a lake.
Yeah. And
it literally shows one of them putting its head down in the water to feed. I'm like, that's not right. No.
And it's so I can look past all the scientific discrepancies, but I think the worst offender for me, the trailer made it look like this big adventure basically across America, right? It was
the world,
that they were going to be across the world, like looking at like different species. Here, I can give you a better plot for Jurassic World Dominion in 20 seconds than the movie is.
All right,
okay.
Go for it.
All right, you want to time me?
Let's do this.
Okay, so
hold on.
Okay.
Now.
Okay, so instead of the plot that they went with the Locusts, they should just instead have one group, government agency trying to protect the dinosaurs, other group wants to eliminate the dinosaurs, and a PETA group that is coming in to save the dinosaurs. Then they have to go from location to location, dealing with the government policies, the PETA people, and themselves, basically arguing over the dinosaurs and interacting with them across the nation.
Yeah, that's about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And the funny part is they even allude to that in the beginning with the news article. Because it shows a poll saying, destroy them, recreate a Jurassic World, or I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's your freaking...
there's your plot.
Plot right there.
There's your plot.
And have, like, the legacy characters that's been through all this against Owen and Claire, who are trying to save the animals. That would have been perfect.
You can still even have Biosyn in it if you want an evil corporation, because then Biosyn can be advocating for their preservation and not their destruction, because they don't want to lose their assets.
Pretty much, yeah.
Instead of making stupid super locusts.
So, before you literally blow...
I'm actually going to have an aneurysm.
An aneurysm before you, fully tap out. I think we're done here.
What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts? It was a piece of crap.
Short,
literally, the scene, like I told you, after the movie with from Jeff Goldblum looking at the Triceratops pile of crap. Because that's one big pile of shit.
That's one. Or no, when you said because Jeff Goldblum in this movie too, he says, "Yeah, not a fan of Jurassic World." So when we got out of the auditorium, Josh looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, not a fan of Jurassic World."
But yeah, it was crap.
Yeah, it was bad.
I literally came home and my fiance was like, why are you in a bad mood? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
Honey, what's wrong? You barely touched your avocado toast.
I don't want to talk about it. So this is Josh.
And this is Carl.
Signing off. Bye.